Our people have made an invaluable contribution to the great victory in the Second World War. Our compatriots fought bravely on the battlefield, and about half of them never returned home. The courage and perseverance of our warriors helped maintain peace and accord on earth. President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. It is true. For today's peace and harmony, we are eternally indebted to our ancestors, who fought bravely and sacrificed their lives. And it is our duty to pass on the peace and unity they fought for to generations to come. Abu Nasr al-Farabi, the great scholar of the East, said, "It is difficult to know the past, the present, or predict the future without knowing the history. So, as we cherish and appreciate our independence, we must never forget the courage of our ancestors, even after 75 years have passed." The Great Patriotic War of the Soviet Union of 1941-1945 has a special place in history as a major part of the Second World War. At the time, more than 2 million of Kazakh people joined the fight for the motherland. As per official data, Kazakhstan sent 12 infantry and 4 cavalry divisions, 7 rifle brigades, and 50 regiments and battalions to the war. 1.5 million people were sent to the front line. 1 in 4 Kazakhs was involved in defense and frontline operations. Sadly, more than 600,000 Kazakhs lost their lives in battle. Kazakh soldiers fought bravely on the battlefield. Over 100,000 of them have received top military awards for their heroic feats, and about 500 have been decorated with the Hero of the Soviet Union title, the highest distinction at the time. More than 100 have been awarded the Order of Glory. 4 Kazakh pilots, Talgat Begeldinov, Leonid Beda, Ivan Pavlov and Sergei Lugansky, have been decorated with the Hero of the Soviet Union title twice. Kuzma Simachenko, a tank army general from the city of Pavlodar, was the first person from Kazakhstan to be named Hero of the Soviet Union. An outstanding colonel, Boja Momushula, from the legendary Panfilov division, was among those who received this title during the Second World War. The 18-year-old Janibek Ilyusizov was the youngest Kazakh awarded with the Hero of the Soviet Union title for his feats in the Battle of the Dnieper. And Rahimjan Kushkarbayev received the Order of the Red Banner for the raising the victory flag over the Reichstag in Berlin. Kazakh women carried through the war years with courage and resilience. From the first days of the war, more than 10,000 women voluntarily applied to military commissariats asking to be recruited to fight. In the opening days, the city of Semey received 3,000 applications of this kind. Or, for example, just one district of the city of Almaty received 112 conscription applications from women. Many of the women who went to war served in medical battalions and hospitals. They were in their early 20s. Most of them were only 17, 19 years old. Renowned Kazakh female warriors Aliya and Manshuk fought bravely and sacrificed their lives. Manshuk Mamedova was drafted from Almaty to serve in the 100th Rifle Brigade. She was soon transferred to the Rifle Division, conferred the rank of Senior Sergeant, and awarded with the title of the Hero of the Soviet Union for her outstanding feats in battle. Aliya Moldagulova, who received the title of People's Hero for her heroic feat, died at the age of 20 on a battlefield. He was Dospanova, a fearless pilot, made more than 300 flights as a part of a women's aviation troop, led by Hero of the Soviet Union, Marina Raskova. Rauharya Safarbekova was the head of the city radio station on the Leningrad front and was distinguished for her heroism. In 1942, about 300 women from the 34th female troop, originating from Kazakhstan, fought in the Battle of Kursk and received military awards. Women voluntarily donated blood to wounded and sick soldiers. 615 women were blood donors, with Elena Lugovskaya and Tatiana Rudich named the honorary donors of the Soviet Union. From 1941 to 1943, a sharp military demand for ferroalloys led to the urgent construction of the first ferrous metallurgy plant in Kazakhstan, the Aktobe ferroalloy plant, where Kazakh women worked tirelessly, day and night. 295 women worked at chemical plant and more than 300 women worked at locomotive depot in Aktobe. In total, more than 8,000 women filled important positions at industry and railway facilities. 332 women were trained on the job as metallurgists in shortest possible time. 47 women operated electric furnaces, and more than 80 women worked as steel workers and electricians. Before the war, female labor was predominantly used in the clothing, textile and food industries. During the war, women moved to heavy industries, mastering the professions that used to be dominated by men. Women's role in Kazakhstan's economy increased significantly. Women in Kazakhstan greatly supported the front line by working day and night on factories, mines and farms. They helped tens of thousands of families evacuated to Kazakhstan from the Nazi-invaded parts of the Soviet Union and took the evacuated children under their care. Despite the poor living conditions in Kazakh villages where men went to war, each family persevered to sustain itself. The war had a great impact on the Kazakh society and the identity of Kazakh women. Agricultural production didn't decline either. Everyone contributed as much as they could, sending food and clothing to the front line. In October 1941, 4,200 women in the Kirov district of the East Kazakhstan region knitted warm socks and gloves, while in the Jambul region, women made 300 coats, 1,200 pairs of felt boots, and thousands of hats. Everything and everybody in the country worked to support the country and the soldiers at the front line. The role of Kazakh women in maintaining unity, prosperity and cooperative spirit in the country was extremely important. Through dedication and commitment of our home front workers, Kazakhstan provided tremendous assistance to the front line. During the war, hundreds of factories had been relocated to our country. Thousands of vehicles and clothes were produced here to be sent to the front. President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. From the first days of the war, Kazakhstan provided the front line and the home front with weapons, ammunition and food. Throughout the years of war, Kazakhstan sent 504.52 thousand tons of grain, 235.88 thousand tons of vegetables, 258.81 thousand tons of meat, 319.4 thousand tons of milk, 1.76 thousand tons of wool, 2.5 million pieces of warm clothing and other products to the front line. In addition, more than 110,000 horses and over 500,000 cattle were sent to towns and villages liberated from the enemy. Kazakhstan's national economy, apart from being a major arsenal for the war, served the agricultural needs of the country at war and produced 5.83 million tons of bread. During the Great Patriotic War, the working people applied their best effort to help the front line and bring victory closer. Like everyone else, the women of Kazakhstan worked on the home front as hard as they possibly could. Women took the place of men in all sectors of the economy. From the first days of the war, women sent half of their income to the defense fund. They donated their jewelry, savings, government bonds, and warm clothes. They sent gifts and letters to soldiers and organized voluntary Sunday works to help the front line. The total amount of aid Kazakhstan provided to the front line during the war was very significant. Kazakhs donated funds to subsidize 4 state loans during the war. which was then equal to more than 3.2 billion rubles. People from different parts of the country donated from 100 to 3,000 rubles to their own money to fund the production of tanks and aircraft. During the Great Patriotic War, Kazakhstan provided 30% of the gross amount of copper, 60% of manganese ores, 50% of copper ore, 65% of bismuth, 70% of polymetallic ores, and 85% of zinc. A third of the copper needed for the defense industry was extracted in Kazakhstan. 9 out of 10 bullets shot by Soviet soldiers were produced at the Shymkent lead plant in Kazakhstan. This is how our great heroes fought and sacrificed their lives in World War II to achieve the great victory and restore peace. If some stood up against the enemy on the battlefield, others worked day and night to provide soldiers with food, clothing and ammunition. Their heroism is a shining example for all of us. As Kazakh saying goes, in people's memory, a hero lives on forever. Sadly, as years go by, we have ever fewer World War II veterans in Kazakhstan. Today, there are only about 1,100 veterans living in the Republic of Kazakhstan.